This is Mission Control Houston. As we mentioned, activity will be focused around this spacewalk that will be conducted by Sergei Volkov and Alexander Samokutyaev. This will be the third spacewalk for Volkov and the first one for Samokutyaev. They will be exiting the hatch beginning at about 9:30 a.m. Central Time. Both crew members will be wearing the blue stripes. The first task that they're going to be focused on is this ARISAT radioscope satellite. This will take up about the first 31 minutes of the spacewalk itself. They'll be moving outside and then deploying this satellite back behind the International Space Station. It'll move away at about 1 meter per second. That satellite is a prototype of an educational satellite that can carry on board different types of student experiments. Up to 4 of those, and there will be 1 on board this one, which is an atmospheric pressure analyzer that will be good as long as the satellite is up there in orbit. The next major task will be for the 2 cosmonauts to install and deploy this laser communications antenna. This antenna will allow different types of experiments inside the Russian segment of the station to have high data rate transmission down to the ground. This large antenna is about the size of a barbecue grill here on Earth. It'll be installed on a universal work platform outside the Zvezda service module, very close to where the solar arrays on that particular portion of the International Space Station. There are certain parts of this antenna deploy in terms of the casing and the multi-layer installation that will no longer be used. So the cosmonauts will remove those, and some of that thermal insulation will be thrown away outside the station as well. There's quite a bit of cabling work that has to be done once this antenna is installed as well, but that thermal insulation and the other pieces of that protective covering for that antenna that are no longer needed will be deployed in much the same way that that educational satellite was at the beginning of the spacewalk. This animation continuing to show how the 2 cosmonauts will be moving around the Russian segment of the International Space Station. The blue is showing the different types of wiring and cabling that the 2 cosmonauts will need to accomplish as they continue to work on the outside of the Russian segment. While they're outside, the crew will also be taking some photographs if they have time of a nearby antenna that's on the Russian segment that's been showing signs of degraded performance. These pictures will be downlinked to the ground teams in Moscow, also here in Houston, so that they can take a look at it and figure out exactly what could be causing it. The crew is also going to be retrieving an antenna that was used for the docking of the Poisk module whenever that particular portion of the station was attached back in November 2009. The antenna is no longer needed. It's going to be brought back inside the International Space Station itself. The major portion of the spacewalk tomorrow, which will take about half of the time that Samokutyaev and Sergei Volkov are outside, is going to be the relocation of one of the Strela booms, which you're seeing one of them here now. There are 2 that are mounted on the Pirs docking compartment itself. These are very long booms that can be extended much like a fishing rod is, which you see there. And the Pirs docking compartment does not need 2 of them, so one of them is going to be moved up to the Poisk module. This will allow different types of access up to the station. It will allow different types of equipment to be installed on that portion of the International Space Station, and as we mentioned, that activity will take about 3 hours.